The San Francisco 49ers and the Kansas City Chiefs are set for a Super Bowl 54 rematch in Super Bowl 58, while Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes go for the overall repeat and another win over the same Super Bowl opponent. San Francisco will look to avenge a 31-20 loss from 4 seasons ago. Once again, the Chiefs will be the designated home team in Las Vegas on Sunday night. They also will try to do what they couldn't in Super Bowl 55 when they lost their chance to become back-to-back Super Bowl champions. There is one big change. Kansas City ended up as a 1.5-point favorite over San Francisco in Super Bowl 54. This time, the 49ers open as 2-point favorites, with the over-under set for a point total of 48. Will the 49ers come through? Or will the Chiefs deny them for a second time in 5 Super Bowls? Hello, friends, and welcome to the biggest TXN Sports World episode of this new calendar year of 2024 to date. Our comprehensive preview of Super Bowl 58 that takes place this Sunday night on the mothership, CBS. Also streaming on Paramount Plus, 6:30 p.m. kickoff from Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada, the home of the Las Vegas Raiders. It will be the NFC champion, San Francisco 49ers, squaring off against the AFC champion, Kansas City Chiefs. I got your primer right here, baby. Before we get into the good stuff, let's break it all down. You want your broadcast primer? Here's the primer right here and right now. CBS on Super Bowl Sunday will start at 11:30 a.m. with NFL Slime Time, hosted by Nate Burleson and Young Dylan. At 12 noon, NFL Films Road to the Super Bowl. Which is the NFL Films produced recap of the 2023 season. 1 p.m., a CBS Sports retrospective on the NFL Today entitled You Are Looking Live. And then, of course, 2 p.m., that's the big one. The 4-hour pregame show known as the Super Bowl Today, live from the Bellagio and Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. For the NFL Today, the Super Bowl Today, of course, you got the usual core guys: James Brown, Nate Burleson, Bill Cowher, Boomer Esiason, Phil Simms, J.J. Watt, and Jonathan Jones, insider. There's going to be a second set. And on that second set, it'll be Ian Eagle, Charles Davis, Jason McCourty, Matt Ryan, and the NFL Network's own Kyle Brandt. And then, of course, 6 p.m., the Super Bowl on CBS kickoff show. The legendary Reba McEntire will be performing the national anthem. Post Malone will be performing America the Beautiful. And Lift Every Voice and Sing to be performed by Andra Day. 6:30 p.m., of course, Super Bowl is when it really gets underway. Kickoff after 6:40. The halftime show will be performed by Usher. And then in the post-game show, Jim Nantz will preside over the presentation of the Vince Lombardi Trophy, emblematic of the Super Bowl world champions of the National Football League. Extended post-game will be on CBS Sports Network and CBS Sports HQ. There will be an alternate broadcast for the kiddies on Nickelodeon. Noah Eagle and Nate Burleson will be the announcers for that. Young Dylan Gilmer and Dylan Schefter will be the reporters. There will be excerpts of Super Bowl 58 in Bikini Bottom with characters from the animated shows SpongeBob SquarePants and Dora the Explorer. This broadcast will air exclusively on Nickelodeon at 6:30. There will be a Super Bowl Spanish language broadcast. Televisa, Univision with Ramsey Sandoval, Diana Flores, Martine Gramatica, and Mimo Schultz as the game for the game in the studio. In the studio, Alejandro Berry, Lindsay Casanelli, Clarissa Molina, Jorge Ramos, Alan Tucker, and Antonio Di Valdez with the post game. Republica Deportiva, Valeria Martin, Julian Gill, Marie Claire Harp, and Georgina Holguin. It'll be the first Super Bowl TV broadcast on Univision, and the Univision broadcast will stream on VIX. And they will have Despierta America at noon, Republica Deportiva at 2, Super Bowl 58 at 5, and the La Jugada post game at 11. On radio, Kevin Harlan, Kurt Warner, Westwood One Radio, Kevin Harlan, Kurt Warner will be the announcers. Mike Golick and Laura Oakman will be the sideline reporters. Dean Blandino, rules analyst. Scott Graham, Devin McCourty, Jason McCourty, and Ross Tucker will be in the studio. National radio broadcast of Super Bowl 58, Sirius XM, Channel 88. A preview show at 2, Insider at 3, pregame show at 4, 5 o'clock, the big one. And then, of course, ESPN International with Chris Fowler, Dan Orlovsky, and Louis Riddick. This broadcast will be available in Australia and New Zealand. NFL Films World Feed, Charles Davis, along with Ian Eagle. English International Feed. Of course, NFL Game Day morning at 9 a.m. Super Bowl's greatest commercials at 5:30. Game Center at 6:30. Game Day final at 10 and an encore at 3:30 a.m. ESPN will be there. Postseason NFL countdown, NFL primetime, follow after the game, and Sports Center with Scott Van Pelt. But last but certainly not least, on the mothership, on CBS. Hello, friends. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson, Evan Washburn, Jay Feely will be the special teams analyst. Gene Steratore will be the rules analyst. And Armando Quintero and Benny Ricardo will be calling the SAP broadcast. Now, that's a primer right there, folks. That's a primer. The 49ers open up as 2-point favorites. They have met in this game once before, just 4 short years ago, Super Bowl 54. From the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, Florida, the Kansas City Chiefs won that game by a score of 31-20, rallying from a 20-10 deficit in the fourth quarter to win what was their first Super Bowl at that time, their first Super Bowl in 50 years. They will look to cement themselves as the next great dynasty in the NFL. First, as the most recent, of course, being the New England Patriots. Now they have an opportunity to do something that team did. They were the last team to do this, win back-to-back Super Bowls. They've got as great an opportunity as any. San Francisco looking to win their first Super Bowl since Super Bowl 29, when they defeated the San Diego Chargers 49-26. Also, ironically, in Miami. But this game will be live from Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. And tonight, you know how we do it. How we've been doing it the last few years. We're going to start it off with the 49ers offense versus the Chiefs defense. And then vice versa. Chiefs offense versus 49ers defense. X factors. Special teams. Coaching. Intangibles. And then last but not least, in the main event, our game and score prediction. And if we want to talk about who's going to be the MVP, that's fine. We can do that too. We'll add that in there also. So with all that being said, as I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher, we are awaiting the presence maybe of Michael Bullock. If he comes in, we'll catch him up on what he missed. If not, then we'll hopefully have him back with us tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk. But MF, it's time. Let's go. Here we go. Let's start it off, friends. Here we go. We started off with our first topic. The San Francisco 49ers offense versus the Kansas City Chiefs defense. The 49ers offense faces a tough Chiefs defense, which has proved to be the best overall in the NFL, especially with its nastiness versus the pass, with varied pressure and coverage. The Chiefs can struggle, however, against the run, as they gave up 4.5 yards a carry in the regular season. That's good news for San Francisco, who will be looking to get Christian McCaffrey going. The Detroit Lions were a tough run defense draw in the NFC Championship game, but the 49ers beat the Packers in the divisional playoffs because of McCaffrey going off to help quarterback Brock Purdy. Jimmy Garoppolo missed some throws that could have helped the 49ers build on a 10-point lead in Super Bowl 54. Brock Purdy is an upgrade because he can execute with greater accuracy in the deep passing game, playing off the run. The 49ers had Deebo Samuel and George Kittle in that game, but they have since added a better overall running back in Christian McCaffrey and another dangerous downfield wide receiver in Brandon Ayuk. Expect an epic battle between Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk and the Kansas City Chiefs ace corners led by L'Jarius Sneed outside and Trent McDuffie inside. The 49ers would be wise to have McCaffrey, Kittle, and fullback Kyle Juszczyk involved in the game plan for Brock Purdy's short to intermediate passing. Purdy will be fine when McCaffrey's work sets up comfortable play action, and he can get a clean pocket. He also throws well and extends plays while on the move. The issue will be the straight-up blocking against Chiefs defensive tackle Chris Jones, who can be a handful for the 49ers' interior pass protectors. On the edge, second-year breakout pass rusher George Karlaftis also has a favorable matchup versus right tackle Colton McKivitz. 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan, also the offensive play caller, excelled at adjusting the personnel to dictate matchups against the Lions. Purdy's work while seeing the blitz also will help keep defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo's Kansas City defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo's versatile and sometimes aggressive pressure looks at bay. Overall, the 49ers being able to rely on the run and find passing success away from the Chiefs' corners will allow them to move the ball better than every other team can against Kansas City. They just need to be patient and not force passes looking for the big play. So with all that being said, I give the advantage to the San Francisco 49ers offense. So 49ers offense gets my check mark on this topic. So not much more to say. Good old MF Michael Fletcher, right on cue. Come on in. Here we are. Another Super Bowl. We've done this. This is the second time in 5 years we're doing this matchup in this one. And here we go. The 49ers offense versus the Chiefs defense for the first of several times tonight. As to Phil Simms, to my Jim Nance, do that thing I like. Hello, friends.
Well, I think basically, Anthony, just so for it, I think we should save that part of it for the prediction at the end. Let's just get that out of the way. Now, as far as that part, I actually agree. I think the 49ers offense does win this battle. And the thing is that unlike what happened 4 years ago, I think offensively they are more better this time around. They're more well equipped this time around because of Christian McCaffrey. But the thing is that they are not afraid to actually use Deebo Samuel out of the backfield. We saw that especially in the Green Bay Packer game, how he could be utilized not as just a passing threat, but even as a run threat. You could get end arounds, these trick plays that they like to use, RPOs. That's going to be something that Kansas City is going to have to deal with. And the thing is that Brock Purdy also can run the ball. That's one thing that I think Kansas City is going to want to neutralize, because that's the one thing that we did not know that Brock Purdy had. We know about the arm strength. We know about the precision passing. The thing is, he can flush himself out of the pocket and run. If he starts doing that, how does Kansas City react to that? How do they neutralize that? I don't know if they're going to be able to. So in that situation, yes, that does open the door for the 49ers to win this battle, defensively. If Chris Jones is a game disruptor, he is going to cause a lot of problems. He's going to cause a lot of mayhem. You can say whatever you want to say. But if he comes out early and often and tries to bully around that O-line, then the Niners are going to have to switch up their strategy. They might have to end up start using, different strategies, different plays, different looks, different, whatever you want to call it. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, I'm with you, Anthony. The 49ers offense should win this battle. So let's go into the next battle, which is the 49ers defense versus the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes, indeed. And and MF just nailed it. It's the vice versa. Kansas City Chiefs offense versus the San Francisco 49ers defense. MF, who you got here?
Well, this one is a little more complicated because of the fact that, if you talk about the quarterback situation, obviously you're 1,000% on the side of Patrick Mahomes. And you got a nice runner in Isaiah Pacheco defensively. So you got that battle going on. So you could say that maybe you give the advantage to Kansas City in that situation. But here's where the problem lies. And this is where now you get into a situation that it doesn't look good if you think about it on paper. And that is Kansas City has had a lot of guys who's been known to drop the football, make mistakes, commit turnover, has had some sudden case of the dropsies, as we would say. And trust me, that has been a major, major, major problema for Kansas City, and especially with a 49er defense that definitely would not mind to see a few mistakes happen their way and to benefit from those mistakes, especially in this game. I think the Niners will really like to put pressure on those receivers to try to muscle them off the ball, to force the issue and for them to basically try to win the game, another way. Maybe that means forcing a pass by Patrick Mahomes. Maybe that means, that Travis Kelce is going to have to step up in this Super Bowl, which he easily can at any time. He could take the game over if he wanted to. But Isaiah Pacheco is going to be very instrumental in this offense because the thing is that can the O-line of Kansas City hold up? But remember in the Super Bowl that was a few years ago, not the one that they won last year, but the one that they lost against Tampa Bay, Anthony, it was the O-line that failed. They got the leg. And basically, Tampa Bay was able to utilize their mustard and was able to utilize themselves by pushing the O-line around all night in that Super Bowl. And that's why we had ourselves a wipeout where Tampa Bay just absolutely blew the doors off on Kansas City. And the thing is, with the team that San Francisco has, especially that front four, you got two studs at the front, up at the front, that if they decide that they want to be game disruptors, they can. If they start bustling around that O-line of Kansas City, boy, it is bad for the Chiefs. And then now you got problems. Does Mahomes have enough time? If he gets out of the pocket, he's going to be fine. Can he get those, moments where he can run out to get those extra yards, to extend plays like he always does? Or will the Niners try to spy, put a linebacker on Mahomes, saying, okay, if you're going to run, we're going to have somebody watching you every move so that you're not going to get that first down. You're not going to get that big yardage. You're not going to get that type of play. We're going to snuff you out that way. That's exactly what the Niners are going to want to do. The only thing that concerns me is that Kansas City has too many weapons here. With Kelce, with Pacheco, if the receiving corps can at least make a few plays, not major, but if they get a couple of clutch catches, then I think Kansas City wins this battle. But the Niners have been very good up to this point. And I know a lot of people are like, yeah, but they went up against like Jordan Love, and then you had to deal with Jared Goff. Don't get me wrong. They had to come from behind to play to utilize their offense and everything else. But the thing is, that Niner defense, they can get to the quarterback. They can pressure. They can cause some trouble. I just don't know if they'll be able to get to it because Mahomes is so elusive and so fast that if he gets out of the pocket, he can run or he can improvise. Make sure that if he needs to get in trouble, you got to lock down their receivers, especially Kelsey. Kelsey is the master of broken plays. If he knows that Mahomes is in trouble, he just runs out, just, yo, I'm open, give me the ball. That's what Kelsey does. And he gets it 9 times out of 10. So we'll see how that plays out. I'm going to give a slight edge to the Kansas City offense. Anthony, it's yours.
The Chiefs offense also tends to reinvent itself well with their head coach, Andy Reid. Kansas City's concerns from the regular season are long gone. Travis Kelce is rejuvenated as an elite receiving tight end. Isaiah Pacheco is seeing volume and rushing well. The offensive line is being more active with its athleticism and getting more help. Rookie Rashee Rice has been a valuable go-to wide receiver in the middle of the field. Even deep threat Marquez Valdes-Scantling has shot out of dormancy in the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes is the straw that stirs that mixed drink. He, like Brock Purdy, is avoiding succumbing to pressure and knows when to take off and run. He and Andy Reid have found their most trusted assets for this latest Super Bowl run, including knowing when to use extra wideouts and tight ends. The Chiefs may not be lighting up the scoreboard, but they're staying balanced and methodical, much like they were in 2023, with only a couple of differences in skilled personnel. Like the Super Bowl 54 run, they can pivot to be a strong running team, and the 49ers' run defense has fallen apart in the playoffs. The 49ers' secondary also is having some considerable issues in coverage when not involving former Chief Charvarius Ward, their top cornerback. The Chiefs can use the middle of the field well, but Mahomes can also exploit the outside. Nick Bosa and the 49er defense must get to Patrick Mahomes and rattle him. But that's not very likely, given Patrick Mahomes didn't wilt in the face of the Baltimore Ravens pass rush in the AFC Championship game. The 49ers will try to get away with playing zone and not resorting to any kind of blitzing to get to Mahomes, knowing it's a medium reward at higher risk. However, sitting back in zone also can be a mistake, given how Mahomes is picking defenses apart underneath. Advantage, Kansas City Chiefs offense. Our next topic is X Factors. The Chiefs have streamlined their weapons for Mahomes. Kelsey, Rice, and Pacheco are the principals, with limited downfield cameos from other targets. They also rely on their loaded young defense to deliver on every level for Steve Spagnuolo. Andy Reid has pulled out a few wrinkles, but it hasn't been very exotic. The 49ers have Kyle Juszczyk, Jawan Jennings, and some other clutch receivers for Brock Purdy. Purdy's legs all of a sudden are a semi-concern. Kyle Shanahan also has the ultimate chess piece in Deebo Samuel to move around as a receiver and runner. The 49ers will need to think a lot more about putting the X in their execution to win, even as the slight favorites. Advantage, San Francisco 49ers. I give them the advantage when it comes to the X factors. So with that being said, MF, what says you?
I agree. I think that if you want to talk about X factors, you've got to talk about the 49ers, and you actually prefaced it. Kyle Juszczyk as a fullback is absolutely a stud. I think he's going to have himself. He can open blocks. He can actually unleash and give Christian McCaffrey certain plays that he needs to get. I think those would be clutch moments more than anything else. Then on top of that, then you have the moments when you talk about great offensive, great looking teams, great whatever you want to call it. I think there's going to be great moments more than anything else. Deebo can be a guy that can really light up the score. And not only that, but Christian McCaffrey is also a dual threat that they can utilize from the passing and running aspect. So you got Debo, you got that, you got Brandon Ayuk, who also has had very clutch moments. I think Ayuk is the most unsung hero that we don't hear about. I think he could actually explode here, and he might have himself a big moment. So that's what I'm going to say, and I totally agree. 49ers gets the check mark on this one. Anthony, it's yours.
All right, MF. Our next category, special teams. Who you got?
This is a Pat McAfee special. He loves the special teams. This is right up his alley. I wish Pat, this is for you, brother, for the brand, as we always say. When you talk about this type of offense, I gotta give the advantage to the Kansas City Chiefs, especially with the kicking game more than anything else. Punting, they did really well, especially in the postseason. They looked good, and then you got Harrison Buckner, who I believe is their best utilized kicker on the squad, and that is where the advantage comes in. They got more of a rookie starter who has missed a couple of kicks along the way for the 49ers. And punting wise, they are all right in that situation. But Kansas City, it's just flawless. Anthony, you know it better than anything else. You saw it. You saw it firsthand how the game shifted because of the punting from Kansas City against Buffalo. And then some very clutch kicks, especially in the AFC Championship game by Harrison Buckner. Buckner is not afraid of the moment, and I don't think he will be afraid of the moment if he needs to rely on a clutch kick that could ice a game or even win the Super Bowl. I think Buckner is meant for this moment. I give the special teams advantage to the Kansas City Chiefs. It's yours.
The Chiefs, between reliable Harrison Butker kicking and Tommy Townsend punting, already have a big edge over the 49ers counterparts, Jake Moody and Mitch Wishnowsky. The teams are pretty even in the return game, as the 49ers rely on Ray McLeod, and the Chiefs are turning to former 49er Richie James over Kadarius Toney. MF, I agree. Advantage Kansas City when it comes to the special teams. Next topic is coaching. You know who the coaches are. Kyle Shanahan for the San Francisco 49ers, Andy Reid for the Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid has gone from a questionable big game coach early in his career, going back to his days with the Philadelphia Eagles, to the most trusted one in the NFL with the Kansas City Chiefs. Steve Spagnuolo's defense provided the foundation to fight through a tough season, and Andy Reid's play calling savvy has come through big time again for the offense in the playoffs. The San Francisco 49ers have needed to dig deep to come back, as their coach, Kyle Shanahan, has coached a little tight end, needed time to find the right flow with Christian McCaffrey. As Kyle Shanahan has coached a little tight and needed time to find the right flow with Christian McCaffrey and Brock Purdy in the playoffs. Defensive coordinator Steve Wilks had a rough game scheming against the Detroit Lions, especially early. Andy Reid over Kyle Shanahan was a big factor in Super Bowl 54, and that plays out again. Advantage Kansas City Chiefs and Andy Reid. MF, coaching.
I
Kyle
agree.
Shanahan or Andy Reid?
No, I agree. This one is simple enough. There's really nothing more to say here. I'm with you on this one. I'm total agreement. I believe this is the same thing as you said. This is an advantage for the Kansas City Chiefs. They're just that good. They're just that good. They know exactly how to play the situation. They know how to handle the clutch moments. And for me, this is absolutely just the thing is Kyle Shanahan has done so much in his career But the thing that I notice about them is that they play like a real squad. Andy Reid is just one of those guys that he knows how to bring the team together. He knows how to bring um, everything that needs to be brought. And at the end of the day, they have done so much for this squad that I just feel like he knows the moment. He knows how to handle it. And look, Kyle Shanahan has had 2 bites at this apple to try to win um, the Super Bowl. Once with the Atlanta Falcons and now with the 49ers. And both times it's the in-game decisions that they've done at the end that has unfortunately upended them, and they have not won the title. I feel like Kansas City is just motivated, and plus on top of that, just the in-game strategies that both teams does. That's why I believe, in my heart of hearts, you got to get the check mark to the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's why I got Kansas City as well. Anthony, it's back to you.
All right, MF, we have one topic left before we get into our main event, and that topic is intangibles. What you got?
When it comes to the intangibles, with everything that's going on, I kind of have to feel like I like San Fran actually in this one. And the thing that I feel is that no disrespect to Kansas City, but I feel like San Francisco is the most complete team on this paper. If you go from top to bottom, offense and defense, I feel like San Fran is the most complete. That's why they were the team that won it at the beginning. That's why they've been the best record in the entire league. That's why they've done what they have done up to this point. They have not had any moment where, yes, there was that 3 games where they had that hiccup. And then, yes, they haven't been the best team in the playoffs. But the thing is that they know how to win, and they haven't had any fear, any problem, any of that moment where it just was one of those type of things. There's really nothing more to add here. If you want intangibles and everything else, this is where I give the advantage to the San Francisco 49ers. So, Anthony, it is yours.
The Kansas City Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce trying to lead a repeat. The defense is trying to cash in big time as the reason for this Super Bowl run. And Chris Jones and L'Jarius Sneed will take that literally as pending free agents looking for big paydays. Andy Reid can continue to stamp his career with a 3rd ring. Based on their ages, it always could be the last one for Travis Kelce and Andy Reid. The Chiefs' winning experience over the 49ers cannot be discounted. There are a lot of changes from that roster, but Mahomes, Kelce, Jones, and Reid remain the core figures. The 49ers are better offensively, but not so defensively. There's also that factor that's played out for Travis Kelce all season long, as the Chiefs have now transcended into pop culture as quote-unquote Taylor Swift's team. Kansas City is the new New England Patriots, and they know it. And the Chiefs want to keep enjoying that ride like Brady, Belichick, and company did. So for the first time tonight, well, at least for now, I disagree, MF. I got to give the intangibles to the Kansas City Chiefs. So that's just how I feel about it. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. It's main event time, boys. And here we go. The Chiefs have the better defense, coach, and quarterback. That's plenty to overcome for the 49ers. Despite how loaded their offense is around Brock Purdy with his 4 primary weapons, Patrick Mahomes doesn't have much in the way of big plays, but neither will Brock Purdy in this matchup. So this game will come down to cutting down on small mistakes while under pressure. Brock Purdy will play well and make this a classic. But Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes. Andy Reid is still Andy Reid. And Travis Kelce is still Travis Kelce. As I just stated, the Kansas City Chiefs are becoming the new New England Patriots, with Tom Brady retired and Bill Belichick not coaching. The Chiefs complete that transformation by becoming the first NFL team to repeat as Super Bowl champions since those very Patriots did so 20 years ago. The Kansas City Chiefs win Super Bowl 58, and they will defeat the San Francisco 49ers. My final score, Kansas City 31, San Francisco 27. 31-27. I've got the Kansas City Chiefs winning Super Bowl 58 and cementing themselves as the next great dynasty in the National Football League. Patrick Mahomes is now the new Tom Brady. Andy Reid is the new Bill Belichick. Travis Kelce's the new Gronk. And you know what? It's their world, and we're going to have to continue living in it. So, and Taylor Swift, I believe, is going to be a big difference. So, there's nothing more to say on that. 31-27, the Kansas City Chiefs. I've gone against them the last two games. I mean, I had a feeling they'd beat Miami. I'm not surprised they beat Miami. I thought Buffalo would take them down. They didn't. I thought Baltimore might take them down. They didn't. So instead of, going against them and getting proved wrong again, I'm going to go with them this time. But would I be surprised if the 49ers were to win? No. And to be honest with you, there's a small part of me that kind of wants San Francisco to win. Because our dear friend, Brian Keenan, outside of the Patriots, is also a big 49er fan. And he was very happy when they came back and beat Detroit in that NFC Championship game. He said he believes in miracles. Well, do they have another one in them? They might. But as long as number 15 is on that other sideline, I'm sorry, I don't see it happening. I would love to see it for them. I mean, the Niners haven't won it in almost 30 years. They might be due here, but I got to go with Kansas City to win. And don't be surprised if Patrick Mahomes ends up being the MVP yet again. But if I had to pick somebody other than him, Travis Kelce's my guy. So 31-27, Kansas City wins it. So not much more to say here. Good old MF Michael Fletcher. Now more than ever, this is truly what the words main event were meant for. This right here literally is the main event. Brother, it don't get no bigger. It don't get no better. And now that we're at the end game here, per your request, for the final time this NFL season, now more than ever, as the Phil Simms to my Jim Nance, do that thing I like. Hello, friends.
Yes, indeed. Now you're allowed to say those words. I thought earlier in the night was very premature. I get it. A lot of people saying Kansas City. A lot of people are thinking that the Chiefs are most likely going to win the game. Yes, there's the Taylor Swift factor. Yes, there's the you talk about Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce. You get all these different things. But the thing is that the 49ers have been the most complete team all year long. And the thing is that they dominated early on. Then they had that 3-game skid where a lot of people were like, what's wrong with the Niners? What's wrong with the Niners? Then the Niners came back emphatically. Yes, postseason-wise, they have not looked amazing. They have not. But I will say this. If there ever was a time that Kansas City will possibly lose, this might be it. Everybody is against them. Nobody wants to see them win. And if you notice on Monday night, Anthony, during that NFL opening night, the Super Bowl opening night at Allegiant, There's a lot of 49er fans in that building. There were a lot of 49er fans in that building. And that's where I think it's gonna feed. San Francisco's gonna be feeding the energy from the crowd. This is gonna feel like a Niners home game, not Kansas City. Kansas City is not welcome in Vegas right now, and you see it. I think everybody is underestimating the offense. I think they've been underestimating the defense. And on top of that, I feel like people are really thinking that, yes, San Fran is possibly on the road to being the next, no, that Kansas City is possibly going to be the next dynasty. No doubt. There's that talk, there's that thing. But the thing is this, George Kittle made a vow 4 years ago that they were going to rewrite their ending, that they were not going out like this. With tears in his eyes, he vowed that they were going to win the Super Bowl. 4 years later, they get their chance. And not only that, but Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Brock Purdy, and that crew is motivated. They want this moment. They felt like Kyle Shanahan also felt like they let a moment get away 4 years ago. They had the Super Bowl in their hands. And then with some very shaky play, some very inconsistent play calling, they did not win that game. This time around, Kyle Shanahan will not let the moment get too big. They might bend, but they're not going to break. And this is the moment that Niner fans have been waiting for. They thought they had it in Super Bowl 48, 47, when they lost to the Baltimore Ravens. Then they thought they had it in Super Bowl 54 when they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. The third time will be the charm for San Francisco. The title is coming home to the city by the bay. I disagree with you, Anthony Florio. My final score of Super Bowl 58, San Francisco captures the Lombardi for the 6th time in their franchise history. 28-23. Christian McCaffrey is the MVP of the Super Bowl. I think he'll go over 100 yards and get 2 touchdowns in the game. 1 rushing, 1 receiving. That's my prediction. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
And with that, we wrap up another great season of TXN Sports World NFL Friday. At this time, on behalf of myself, Good old MF Michael Fletcher, and Michael Bullock, we want to thank you all so very, very much for tuning in all season long. Whether it was our week-by-week regular season game predictions, the wild card round, the divisional round, the conference championships, and this show here tonight. We cannot thank you enough for your support all season long. And we look forward to doing this all again 7 months from now in the month of September, when we start the road to the Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana, for Super Bowl 59. Our preview show will be right around August or so, and it'll be sometime in September when we do this whole thing again. So thank you all so very much for your continued love and support of our shows. I can't tell you how much we appreciate it. I mean, you guys are the best, literally. So, all right. So with that being said, let's set the table for the future content here. Tomorrow night, 10:30, only this time on MF's channel, Brace Fan 95. It will be the Cerebral Smack Talk. Friday night SmackDown. Oh Lord. We are going to have a lot to say about that. Trust you me, we will. And then on top of that, we got AEW Collision. So Friday Night SmackDown, AEW Collision. That's your docket for tomorrow night and the Cerebral Smack Talk. Monday night, we do it all over again. Ridiculously Raw. Right back here on the Tone 25 on Monday night, as we will review Monday Night Raw. And, of course, my latest Tony's take on Impact Wrestling and NXT Level Up. Wednesday night, over on the MF channel, Brace Fan 95. Wednesday Night Madness. We got NXT. We got AEW Dynamite. And then next Friday night, the season premiere of our regulation TXN Sports World shows. They return next week. And we got a good show for you next week. We will recap Super Bowl 58. We will recap the NFL honors. We'll also recap the NHL All-Star Game and the skills competition. And in the main event, we will preview NBA All-Star Saturday night and the NBA All-Star Game. So there's your docket for next week. So with that being said, now don't be discouraged if at some times during the if there ends up being times where we may not have TXN Sports World shows, but next Friday there will most definitely be a TXN Sports World show season premiere. MF.
Just to let you guys know, a lot of the times it does take right around there is a little bit of a slow part. We do slow up a little bit. However, that's normally mainly in the summer is when we start to hit the wall. But don't worry, guys, we got plenty of content. We got plenty of things to talk about in the aforementioned. Of course, so we will definitely have a lot of shows along the way, but there will be some times where we'll take a week off here and there, but trust me, guys, it will be worth it. We got plenty of content, plenty of sports to talk about. So if there is a night where we're going to be off, don't worry. We'll make it up.
And we'll also let you know as well. So, but next Friday will not be one of those nights. It's the season premiere of our regulation shows. Super Bowl 58 recap. We'll jump it off. We'll also, like I said, we'll also address NFL honors, including the 2024 Pro Football Hall of Fame class. And we will also recap the NHL skills competition and All-Star game. And then in the main event, we will be previewing NBA All-Star Saturday night and the NBA All-Star game. So that's it. So until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk over on MF's channel, Brace Fan 95, this is Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher. And in spirit, of course, it is Michael Bullock. And always and forever, our First Lady, Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune Force style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Sunday. Enjoy the Super Bowl. No matter what you're doing, whether you're watching it from your own home or you're going somewhere, enjoy it all and enjoy it all. Enjoy it on Sunday night. It's going to be something else. And until tomorrow night for the Cerebral Smack Talk, you've been watching our season finale of TXN Sports World NFL Friday, our preview of Super Bowl 58 right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and Streaming.com. For everybody who has been a part of this one all season long, for now, Anthony Florio, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye. And we'll talk NFL again next year.